It has been a tough 2 weeks for music. Lil Nas X ended everyone, including the devil himself, which is a pretty big deal, some random governor, Candace, Uncle Tom Owens, the gunslinging,
the sash ringing, the flash singing, the bash pinging,
poop girl, and a self-proclaimed best-selling author endorsed by a literal criminal who is so irrelevant that I don't even need to mention his name. But I want to dive into another big music industry happenance, and that is the phenomenon I like to call the TikTok tyranny, wherein the social media app TikTok rules every facet of our lives. More specifically, we're here to talk about the person known for everything but singing industrial complex that leads to actresses and social media influencers and etc. turning into Mariah Carey overnight. We've seen this complex push actresses through the television and film industry and straight into the Billboard charts, with big names like Ariana Grande, Selena Gomez, Zendaya. I'm sure every one of you forgot all about that one, but I certainly cannot get it out of my head. YouTubers are also no strangers to this complex, with prehistoric examples being parodies that were popular in the early 2010s, to more modern examples of pre-famous celebrities posting song covers onto their YouTube channels before being picked up by their recording label. And on the absolute end of that spectrum, we have real-life YouTubers who usually post content unrelated to music as a whole, yet dip their toes into the music scene every so often. In that case, we have notorious names like Rice Gum, Tana Mojo, and sometimes even Danny Gonzalez. The person known for everything but singing industrial complex makes it clear that when you have even the tiniest bit of a platform and enough disposable income, you too can become an industry plant. This complex has even led certain TikTok stars to release songs and music videos, with Dixie D'Amelio releasing her debut single, Be Happy. This song was very well received. It ranked number 36 on the Billboard Mainstream Top 40, number 1 on Billboard Bubbling Under Hot 100 Singles, and 56 on Canada's Hot 100. So I mean, for a debut single from someone who, to my knowledge, is not known for producing music, that's pretty good. But more recently, another TikTok star, Addison Rae, released her debut song, Obsessed. This song ranked number 6 on the YouTube trending page the day it was released, and as of filming this video, the music video has accumulated over 13 million, can you hear me? Million views. Addison even performed it on Jimmy Fallon, which was her first ever debut on a late night talk show. So I would say it's going pretty well for her, or at least it would be going well for her, except no one liked the song. Upon its release, the song was promptly dragged through the Twitter mud, as most things are, with people complaining about the rise of TikTok singers and other people criticizing the content of the music video, such as the dancing and the uninspired lyricism. But the complaint I found most interesting was the accusation that Addison was being just another self-obsessed pretty girl. Now, everyone knows how I feel about the demonization of femininity, but I won't really go into that specifically with this video because I don't think that really applies to this situation. Addison Rae is a very pretty, very rich girl, but I don't think people hate her because of it. The problem that kept arising in her comment section under her music video was that people hate her because she knows she's a very pretty, very rich girl, not because she is one in general. The song Obsessed talks about being obsessed with yourself, about loving yourself so much that even if you were to lose a significant other, you would still be well off because you have yourself. It's a self-love anthem, and I'm about to get a little controversial here, but I like the song. It's reminiscent of Selena Gomez, and I would even argue Britney Spears, two singers who have constantly been praised by their fans for their musical capabilities, and rightfully so. And the tone of the song, that sort of self-acceptance, self-love message, is highly reminiscent of Mariah Carey. you know, the queen of being self-confident and a little shady about it.
Say 3 nice things about Eminem.
They come in a package that you can carry wherever you go.
The main question that I had after reading her comment section was, why is it when a 20-year-old Addison Rae, who is a young adult with a very young audience, provides a message of self-love, the internet goes up in flames? I mean, aren't we supposed to strive for self-love? Or are we? I don't know. I don't think there's much point in getting analytical about it or doing extensive research into why young women aren't allowed to like themselves, because I think we all know why. I want this video to be wholly my opinion because I genuinely want to start a conversation instead of providing a structured brick wall of facts that don't allow various outlooks. So let's start with theory 1. In 2011, up-and-coming boy band One Direction released the Grammy Award-winning, Oscar-nominated, Beyoncé-approved pop powerhouse What Makes You Beautiful. It didn't really win a Grammy, nor was it endorsed by the Oscars or Beyoncé, but when Liam Payne uttered "You're Insecure," everyone within a 30-mile radius felt that. What Makes You Beautiful is not a song played in passing. It was quite literally, like I said, a pop powerhouse. It's certified quadruple platinum in the US. It reached number 4 on the US Hot 100 chart, number 1 on the UK singles chart, and has amassed over 1 billion views on YouTube since it was released. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing that infamous opening riff or that tantalizing pop melody. Yes, I am a music critic. You also couldn't get away from the core message of the song. I admit in 2011, I was like 12 years old and I didn't register a damn thing those boys were saying. All I knew was I was in love with Harry Styles, and when I saw him like singing all up in that girl's face, my whole world shattered. My heart was broken. And I promptly switched over to Niall. Expeditiously. But the core message of the song can be found in its very chorus. You don't know you're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. One Direction aren't the first nor the last singing act to portray the insecurity of women that they're trying to serenade. We can see this in other modern examples like Mac Miller's My Favorite Part, where he proclaims, "You just don't know how beautiful you are, and baby, that's my favorite part." In John Legend's You and I, he states, "You fix your makeup just so. Guess you don't know that you're beautiful. Try on every dress that you own. You were fine in my eyes a half hour ago." And even our resident tractor driving, hay bell chewing, world's sexiest man according to People magazine, Blake Shelton, has also played into this trope with the release of his song She Doesn't Know She's Got It, which, with a title like that, it's pretty self-explanatory. The point is, there is an interesting trend in music, in this case by male singers, that equates a woman's insecurity or lack of self-confidence as some sort of badge of honor. I have a lot of theories about this, many of which stem from the fact that self-confident women who understand their self-worth may be viewed as independent, which some men may be afraid of or maybe even be insecure about, but that's just a theory. This sort of trend just reinforces the fact that insecure women are what men like, because men are able to be viewed as the heroes or the good guys for building a woman up. Kind of like that viral Twitter post that was like, when you get to see her self-confidence that you gave her build over time. With the music industry solidifying the insecure woman who's actually very conventionally attractive, but because she doesn't know it, that gives me the opportunity to give her self-confidence trope. I can see how Addison Rae's song about being self-obsessed as a young woman is a little jarring, especially to a world that's so used to serenading insecure girls. But I can't only talk about a woman's insecurity from the male perspective. I'm not John Green. That would be undermining the numerous women in the spotlight, from YouTube to the music industry itself, who have documented the journey of their self-relationship and the insecurities that may plague them. These are their stories.
I wanna know, where did we go wrong? Could we ever change this song into something beautiful, like the beauty that we've seen? I'm asking you, lover, why do you have to be so mean?
Music has the opportunity to be a very raw piece of media that gives you insight into the complex thoughts and emotions of an artist. Kind of like in Twilight when Bella gets bitten by James and Robert Pattinson starts singing as Edward sucks the venom out of her like it's the sweet filling in the center of a jelly donut. Where was I going with this? Music is a very deep medium with heart-touching numbers like Lord's Liability, or Mitski's entire discography, or, Florence Welch in general. Even though we have a plethora of genres, we still find ourselves crooning about similar topics, one of those being insecurity. Everyone is insecure at one point or another. At my core, I am a deeply insecure person, just as I'm sure some of the hottest people in the world still have their insecure days. It's easy to look in from the outside and say,
oh, I wish I looked like her, or I wish I looked like him, or I wish I had their body or face or sense of style,
and not even know the self-disgust or self-loathing that person may be facing. Insecurity is a topic that is so constantly dissected under a spotlight because I would argue women are taught to be insecure from adolescence, and it grows to the point of normalization. We're taught that we need this new skin cream, and we need this new outfit, or we need this new body or face or lifestyle. The bar is constantly raising and constantly retracting, and beauty standards heavily fluctuate over our lifetime. For instance, big butts were not cool in the early 2000s. In fact, it was constantly used as an insult. But that's clearly no longer the case. This constant up and down and the expectation for women to keep up with this constant up and down leads to feelings of inadequacy. In Drew Barrymore, SZA states, "I'm so ashamed of myself, think I need therapy. I'm sorry I'm not attractive. I'm sorry I'm not more ladylike." In her 2001 track, Don't Let Me Get Me, Pink states, "Don't want to be my friend no more. I want to be somebody else." And we can't forget the iconic 2016 track by Nash featuring Olivia O'Brien, I Hate You, I Love You, which Billboard claims is a song dedicated to, quote, self-doubt and unhealthy deprecation, end quote, with O'Brien, quote, offering to erase her own personality in order to assume that of another woman's, all to get the relationship that she idealizes, end quote. And the insecurity doesn't stop with the music industry. It's become center stage for some of YouTube's content creators like Emma Chamberlain and Ashley Best Dressed, who have a history of partaking in self-deprecating behavior. Even He Who Should Not Be Named, oh no, the other one. No, the other one. Yeah, him. He's even partaken in this sort of behavior. I'm not condemning any of these artists for making self-deprecating jokes, especially because I myself have made self-deprecating jokes similar to theirs, and quite possibly even worse, about myself. I think it's a natural habit when you're insecure to try and make jokes about yourself before someone else can. That way people aren't laughing at you, but with you, which is way more tolerable. I hate to use the word trend here because I don't think it's fair to boil down a woman's insecurity to what's popular in the mainstream media, but there is a pattern of this sort of self-deprecation on YouTube to the point where being confident in yourself as an influencer is kind of startling. I remember watching Kelly Stamps for the first time back in early 2020, and I was just floored by the level of self-confidence she had. She wasn't self-deprecating, and it was such a breath of fresh air that I wasn't really expecting it. I'm not saying she should be insecure or anything like that, and I'm not saying that it's surprising that she's confident, but I was just so used to watching self-deprecating YouTubers that it sort of became the norm And when I saw otherwise, I was just really caught off guard. The same can be said for D'Angelo Wallace, the president of YouTube himself, who makes it clear in numerous videos that the success that he earns is justified and well-deserved, which it totally is. And by the way, I'm not saying that insecure people, namely insecure women, are always coveted while their self-confident counterparts are vilified, because that's simply not true. I've seen numerous people applaud D'Angelo Wallace and Kelly Stamps for not being self-deprecating. I've even gotten comments like that myself.
And if you want to see the flip side of it, you can take a look at Summer Walker and the incident of 2019, where Summer, a musician with anxiety, went viral on social media because of her awkward red carpet photos.
She was bullied endlessly for that, with people saying that if she wasn't comfortable or self-confident, then she shouldn't have attended the award show in the first place, which, don't even get me started. The pattern of insecurity we see across the musical industry, social media, and in real life, I would conclude that young girls are expected to feel insecure about themselves, and deviating from that norm leads to being labeled a narcissist or self-obsessed. I think the point of it all is that liking yourself isn't marketable because it's not relatable. Insecurity is a deeply rooted feeling in many people, so the moment someone expresses self-love, it deviates from the alleged norm. I think Addison's song should be viewed as a healthy relationship with oneself, unhindered by second-guessing yourself or even hating yourself. At its core, it's a message that I think could really benefit her audience. You know, learning that you're your own person outside of romantic connections and that it's okay to love yourself. And the thing is, Addison doesn't even use self-obsession in a way to drag anyone else down in the song, nor does she imply that she lacks empathy for other people because she likes herself so much. All she says is that she's obsessed with herself, which is a very valid stance to take. Something that I don't think people understand is the fact that you're going to have to live with yourself for the rest of your life. You hear me? The rest of your life. You don't get a break from yourself, and you don't get to clock out, go home, and be someone different. If you hate yourself, or if you're constantly insecure about yourself, your life will be a living hell. And as someone who is still battling insecurities and self-doubt, I can assure you, I would damn sure rather be self-obsessed than disgusted with myself. I think when we hurl self-obsession around as an insult, it speaks more to our own insecurities than to the other person's attitude. Because if you liked yourself, would you care if Addison Rae liked herself? Or would you listen to the song, like it or hate it, and move on with your life? That's what I thought. Let people like themselves. I can't believe I even have to say it.